Well, King, it's the holiday season. Well, there's been a whole lot of wrestling that's happened these past few weeks. I mean, we got Continental Classic in full swing. We've gone through pretty much towards the end of the year as we approach the year's end with World's End. STARDOM Dream Queendom right now might usher in nightmares if some of those dreams come true. We, of course, got through Strong Style Evolved. We went back in time to Saturday night's main event where we might have a new WWE champion as we prepare for Raw on Netflix and the world of streaming to become truly global with AEW and WWE. And we, of course, prepare for the most crazy week of the new year across all things wrestling because we got every Japanese company under the sun in the first 7 days. And why do I say all these things? You didn't catch on now, like when I say his name. Let me tell you, because truly they encompass all things wrestling. So here we go. Ho, ho, ho. Hello, everybody, and welcome once back to another quick and simple AW Impromptu, the forum where me and my family get together to discuss all things wrestling and bring some positivity and some funniness into your lives as well. And chaos might ensue, too, if somebody says the wrong thing about a certain person. But we'll talk more about that later if that happens. I'm, of course, Noel Foster, and, of course, with me always, he is my only brother since day zero, the KING King. King A-Train, Anthony, where honor is real, and hopefully honor is real definitely tomorrow night when we go to its spiritual home in the Hammerstein Ballroom. But we'll talk more about that here shortly. Before I get into things, King, good to see you up in a moment. 3 weeks, actually, as we are literally 6 days away from Christmas. So those that celebrate like us, happy holidays in advance as well. That's why I decided to touch things up about the black background, simply put. And even got the little handkerchief to prove it. King, good to see you. How you feeling about... Well, not necessarily, personal matters. Again, personal matters with family in the holiday season in full swing. But how you feeling so far about everything, all things wrestling, the Continental Classic? How you been, man? And, of course, ROH Final Battle is tomorrow.
C2 season has been thriving. I've been loving it. Every single match that has been banging and hitting on all cylinders, especially with Ospreay and Darby. What the heck, especially with that sequence last night on Dynamite. My goodness.
Mind blown.
Other than that, of course, we got Ring of Honor Final Battle returning to the spiritual home. That is the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. I can't wait for that. And yeah, man, looking forward to it. And of course, we got World's End coming up. And then we got Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, and of course, Rampagers. Let's look forward to next week because Rampage, as we know it, next week, allegedly, rumored, and probably be finalization of next Friday's the last Rampage we got.
Yeah, the last Rampage of the year, to your point. A lot of things coming to an end. A lot of stuff truly can begin. So, yeah, I think without further ado, before we get into things, as always, we are ATW. Shout out to the W fam, including but not limited to our Queen, Meg Chibba, Mary Jig, Choose for that James, reporting the gold across the pond. Please follow on social media, folks, and happy holidays in advance, my friend. I know you're already a day ahead of us. Of course, our social media content creator and soon-to-be wrestling personality much more often, Sienna Chanel, who's wrapping up her days. Please follow her on all the social medias and all the content she creates. Draco, Josh, Matt, of course, our enforcer, Lex, our bearer of all things news, Mr. Chaos himself, Eric Brown, Preacher Man, Casey Flynn, whole bunch of Dakota Khan will finally become a champion, but I rest my case, and I'll leave that to Casey. We miss you, brother. I always wish you all the best. Again, shout out to the entire fam. I could be here all night if I talked about all of them, Savage Mike. But again, we are ATW for life, brought together, bound by professional wrestling and positive morals. I always encourage everybody to protect their mentality and judge their life and enjoy wrestling. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Again, the last time we were here, it was literally at the start of the Continental Classic, prior to its beginning. And we are in the thick of it. And I know that will probably be like one thing we definitely focus on. But let's turn back the clock a little bit, shall we? Because I don't know about you, but my obsession has always been neon synthwave and just the pure retro feeling of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yeah. Professional wrestling, damn it. And boy, was this a fun throwback as we went back in time to Saturday night's main event. From the nostalgia feel to the intro to the body back on commentary, turning every face into a heel, to every referee wearing the dress shirts. And, of course, I didn't have a bow tie at the time. I wasn't even on the call. I was a little sad about that, but that's all right. And I know we're going to talk about certain matches and moments. But before we get into the matches, King, we went back in time. What was it like for you to go back to Saturday night's main event where it really felt like the good old days of actual wrestling presentation on our sets?
I didn't even get a chance to watch it because I had Collision invading my time, and I did see the highlights of it though. I didn't get a chance to watch the full show.
Same. And you got the highlights. You saw the, you heard the vibe. You saw the audience.
But I've seen the presentation, and as far as presentation goes, it did throw me back. I mean, the 80s, the 90s, and of course, it brought it back in the mid 2000s for a little while. So it was a fun little nostalgia trip.
Yeah, and of course, a little tiny walkway with the security behind them, and the heels literally going like this, like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. During his entrance. Gunther is such a great tweener. You can't hate Gunther because he's that damn good of a wrestler, and the personality that he gets to subtly showcase when he speaks. I love it. Again, to me, WWE's most valuable male player. Holla. But speaking of valuable players, I told you! I fucking told you! Ha! The hot mess represents the U.S. Makes history. 7 years to the day she was last a singles champion as Laura Vanessa in TNA with the Impact Knockouts World Championship. Chelsea Green is now the inaugural WWE Women's United States Champion, baby. What a wonderful moment and a career-defining moment for a well-deserved, hard-working competitor of the business. I mean, you can't deny that despite how much you're annoyed by her character. Now she is going to be insufferable, and I cannot wait to see it. Sorry, Meacham, nice try.
I demand a retrial. I demand a recount. I demand instant replay. Instant replay. This is rigged. It should have been Meechin, and it should have been Meechin all the way. There was no hot mess deserved for this championship, and now
she earned it. Dude, did you not see the way that she took over freaking Meacham out of the corner into the Unpretty? It was a brilliant sequence in the finish. And of course, she was given an homage to her husband, Matt Cardona, with one knee in the gear and literally used the broski boot and rail silence at one point. Chelsea Green earned this. And again, what champion doesn't celebrate better than going to Disney World Land than a freaking WWE superstar? I'm just saying. So there you go. Again, Chelsea Green, congratulations. In other news, of course, Gunther beat Finn Balor and Damian Priest in triple threat. So pretty much we're done there, I think, especially when Finn Balor was the one that ate the pin. Oh, well. Of course, Liv Morgan got brutalized by Io Sky, but she still holds to the Women's Heavyweight Championship. We also, of course, had Drew McIntyre beat Sami Zayn. And, of course, in our main event, Cody Rhodes brought back the prestigious Winged Eagle Championship and beat Kevin Owens, but ended up leaving after getting package power drive in a stretcher in an ambulance. And even Triple H seemed very pissed off about it, to the point, as we'll segue here shortly into the Netflix kickoff party and talk about Netflix on Raw and what the hell might go down there. Kevin Owens is calling himself now the real WWE champion. He's going to defend that title during the freaking holiday tour, December 26th.
He's pretty much doing what Taz did with the ECW championship. Pretty much. But and I like it. I like it. I love this side of Kevin. This is the side of Kevin I missed. Honestly.
Yeah. Prize fighter. Didn't get 0 Fs. And again, he always was better as a heel versus a face, in my opinion. So, again, I think Saturday night's main event, and we talked about this in the NJPW review. Go check that out, folks. It should literally be used as that stage to be the true go-home point, hype-up card point for the biggest 4 shows of WWE's year. Doing it in January, it feels kind of weird, but I guess if it justifies what the Royal Rumble is going to be to a degree, then maybe I'll allow it, but I don't know. And, of course, we talk about, nostalgia, retro vibes. How we talk about the heavy, dangerous blue steel cage, maybe bring that back. So with Saturday main event becoming more of a quarterly thing, what do you hope to see, maybe, from this mainstay now that it seems like it's going to be back for the duration as a specialty versus a monthly PLE, thankfully?
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, at first when I heard it was going to be a quarterly thing, and I was like, I could get behind that, but also it's been a while since Saturday night's main event used to be a quarterly thing, especially back in the 80s and early 90s. So, like, I wouldn't mind it. Just like you said, bring back the steel, like the blue steel cage. If you're going to do a steel cage match, bring all the aesthetics back of it. I mean, it was good success on WWE's part to bring it back. But I'll see how I get accustomed to this quarterly.
Right? With everything else WWE's planning to do, and we know part of their schedule so far. And of course, people are like, okay, so now we need the superstars, hyping them up with their logo behind them ahead of their matches. We need the tiny, what is it, wide, the 16, not 16:9, 4:9, whatever it is, ratio with them in a promo backstage with just like a tarp that maybe falls down, like a retroalized set or something like that. All the nostalgia, all the presentation of nostalgia is what I need. I need the original crappy table with the CRT monitors and for the announcers. I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah, I'll be honest. Again, as somebody that doesn't watch WWE programming weekly verbatim, I watch highlights, but I do care about NXT because ROH has the best women's division right now, literally on the entire WWE scene and maybe nearly on the entire Western Front. But it literally was one of those shows that truly felt just like a joy to watch as a wrestling fan. I didn't feel like I was being fed second-rate reality bullshit over promo. It was just literally flowed wrestling. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I went back to watch because, to your point, I did watch, of course, Collision when it was coming because I was calling it. So, again, Saturday's main event, great success. I look forward to seeing more of it. And, of course, we talk about the Collision, we talk about AEW, we talk about the Holiday Bash, and of course the Holiday Bash in full swing. I put up the Soul Gravis. Of course, we know what the remainder of the holiday season is going to bring when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. That's given us a December to remember. We got the Ring of Honor Final Battle tomorrow, then we got AEW Christmas Collision, Diamond 34th Street, and the last Rampage ever, allegedly. Of course, all emanating from the Hammerstein Ballroom, to your point. And of course, we're in Continental Classic season, and Christmas Collision will continue that tomorrow. So as we segue things into the Continental Classic, yeah, let's go ahead and slowly talk about that. It's been quite a unique tournament. Again, folks, the round robin tournament, each match is 20 minutes long, 3 points for a win, 0 for a loss, 1 point for a draw. Top 2 seeds or score getters of each block will compete in the semifinals at World's End, and the winner of those 2 matches, where top face secondary of each block respectfully, where top of blue face second of gold, top of gold face second of blue, and the winner of those matches will face off to become the second ever Continental Classic champion, crown currently held by Ruane Megasuchika Okada. It's a dead heat right now as far as who you think your top 2 are going to be, and tiebreakers I think are going to become extremely valuable in the closing matches, especially for the Gold League. So let's go ahead and talk about real quick what the Continental Classic has been to us, King. We saw, as you said, Darby Allin Will Ospreay, one of the damnedest exchanges ever, and Darby Allin got a critical win to get a 4-way tie going in the Gold League. And to your point, of course, we also saw on last week's Collision, winner is coming. We also saw more Continental Classic there, but that was more so from the Blue League. So we'll talk about that more here in a little bit. And of course, we know we got Brody King versus Commander tomorrow night on Holiday Bash Rampage. Ricochet getting the win on Brody King last week. And Kyle Casanova getting a cricket win, of course, on Brody King, a loss to Will Ospreay. And each one of these competitors right now have 2 matches left. And at this point, tiebreakers have to become a reality. And we know coming up here Saturday, Lord help us, it's Darby Allin versus Kyle Casanova and Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. And those matches might be pinnacle towards either man of those matches being on the losing end, having a chance to be part of the semifinals.
Indeed, because the Gold League is pretty much a toss-up at this rate. And if Brody King gets his other 3 against Commander, then you're looking at a what? 5-way tie? Pretty much. So it's gonna be like it's gonna be like a unexpected who's gonna come out of the Gold League if Brody King does defeat Commander tomorrow night on Holiday Bash Rampage.
As, of course, we're hashtag spoiler free, and I literally watched the shows verbatim, and after Ring of Honor Final Battle, I will be watching that Rampage. It's only an hour wrestling. I mean, come on now. But yeah, and I mean, at this point, I mean, you were talking about, your super performers and winners of the block. Has your opinion changed at all looking at the score now?
Gold League, yes, it has. Yes, it has. I don't know who's going to escape the Gold League, to be honest, bro. I don't know.
I mean, Will Ospreay said he has to win this. Darby Allin, though, he's focused on the war right now of AEW. Claude Casanova, of course, with a newfound purpose. in the vision and mission of John Moxley. And then there's Ricochet, who basically looked like a geek against the Hurt Syndicate right now, but has a pinnacle match to finally prove that he was better than Big Brother self-proclaimed when he goes one-on-one with Ospreay this Saturday.
And they get in the Hammerstein ballroom. You people in New York, I'm kind of jealous of y'all a little bit because y'all get to see that match live.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the same way as well. But of course, as we talked about here with the Gold League, let's go ahead and talk real quick about the Blue League now, the other side of things. Of course, we saw Rainmaker Tsuchika Okada, to your point, beat the Beast Mortals. Very game bout this past Saturday. And the most important win prize so far in the Continental Classic, Mark Briscoe stopped the streak of the Proto-Star Kyle Fletcher, kept himself alive, and pretty much the rest of the block also for the time being. Why Shelton Benjamin got the win last night over Beast Mortals, and Beast Mortals has one match left and has literally gotten nothing. And talk about a match of wild animals. Redneck Chicken Man versus the Beast Mortals. That is the Beast Mortals' last match, and Mark Briscoe's last match, respectfully. What the hell?
Even though, unfortunately, the Beast Mortals is eliminated from the Continental Classic in the Blue League, but I expect nothing less between Mark Briscoe and the Beast Mortals on Christmas Collision. But the fact that Mark Briscoe decided to play spoiler and hit the J drilling within 1 minute left of that time limit and decided to be the LeBron James clutch player of the night and hit J drilling within the time limit, that right there is what unpredictability can do in the Continental Classic. Like, Kyle Fletcher had this big streak going. He defeated Shelton Benjamin to get it started, even though that was a low blow and the referee didn't see it. He defeated the Beast Mortals. And then when the referee was not looking again, he beat the Rainmaker. Let me repeat myself, just in case y'all didn't hear that. He beat the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, on Collision, and then got spoiled by Mark Briscoe. But Kyle Fletcher Saturday on Collision has another clinching spot opportunity if he can defeat Daniel Garcia on Saturday on Christmas Collision.
Yeah, because he'll literally be untouchable. He will have 12 points. He will be the top seed of the league, while Kyle Fletcher loses. If Kazuchika Okada wins, he's the top seed of the league. But also, there's one other thing we need to note here. Shelton Benjamin actually also has 2 matches left, and we know that he will be going one-on-one with Daniel Garcia next, and Okada is his last.
Which Okada and Benjamin will happen on Miracle on 34th Street Dynamite.
What a unique name, by the way. And again, folks, that Dynamite will be pre-recorded as, of course, the holiday season is encouraging you to enjoy the holidays with your families and a well-deserved break from anything work-related, especially the wrestlers that put their own physical and mental well-being on line for our entertainment every day. God bless all, no matter what company you work for and how much you have done. Thank you so much. But, yeah, it's a dead heat right now. As, of course, next week we will know who will be the top 2 score getters as we head into World's End, which will be literally the following Saturday. And, of course, also happening outside Continental Classic, we, of course, all that tournament action culminate for the women's side of things when it came to the International Women's Cup, as we AEW got the representative damn good bout once again with Willow Nightingale and Jamie Hayter, as Willow found the way to hit Jamie with the Dr. Bomb. Mutual respect found. But the Princess of the Black Throne has returned home. Julia Hart dropped her with a reverse DDT.
And it looks like we're going to get Jamie and Julia at Fight for the Fallen on New Year's Day.
Yep, and again, that will be the very first day of the new year after all this concludes. And I just want to say this real quick. We're going to talk about AEW Rampage highlights next week, Thursday, when we gather with our year's end World's End preview and our year-end adieu. Stay tuned for more on that, folks. But yeah, the Continental Classic has been absolutely insane right now, and your guys as good as mine as far as who deserves to win it and who the top 2 seeds are going to be in each block. But I will say this in closing on Continental Classic talk. If Shelton Benjamin doesn't win here against Daniel Garcia, there is going to be hell to pay from MVP and Bobby Lashley after what we saw. Talking about we hurt people. but also Shelton Benjamin does win, you got to consider him a lock to challenge Daniel Garcia at this point for the TNT Championship.
If what we saw last night on Dynamite previewed anything, that might be a title match looking forward to, which when Daniel Garcia defended the TNT Championship against Shelton Benjamin. And I like Daniel Garcia. I know he just got the title, but the way how Shelton Benjamin's momentum has been ever since he came to AEW, Daniel Garcia, your time might be up, bro.
Man, time might be up before it even starts. And again, the Gold League here, most pinnacle matches. We know Ricochet and Will Ospreay, again, we've been waiting to see who's been better since 2016, will take place. Will Ospreay's final match will be against Big Bad Brody King. And Claudio Castagnoli's final match will be against Commander. But Commander could very well play spoiler if Claudio beats Darby Allin and stops at 9 points. But Commander upsets the Swiss Superman. Of course, Darby Allin, his Continental Classic run will conclude one-on-one against Ricochet. And if he gets wins over both Will Ospreay and Ricochet, you got to consider Darby Allin probably a lock.
Most definitely. Most definitely a lock.
Yeah, meanwhile, Brody King, though, he definitely needs both of these wins just to stay alive. I got to consider right now, if Brody King loses either of these last two matches, he's got to be once again eliminated.
Yeah, and talk about from a underrated wrestler in the C2 last year to where he at now.
Right? Like, what the hell, man? I mean, seriously, how things change in a freaking year. And, of course, we'll talk about that more here in a moment. In other news, of course, as you talked about with all things wrestling, we already talked about what AEW has left and what will be a December to remember. Of course, we're going to follow things into World's End. And here's the World's End card so far. Fatal four-way for the AEW World Championship. As we got the Switchblade Jay White, Fred Squeeze joins Cassidy, and him and Adam Page, who can't coexist for their life, going up against Jon Moxley, where Jon Moxley basically proclaimed that Eagles run AEW. And that's why he believes that nobody right now can beat him. As we saw literally this Wednesday on Holiday Bash, the post-match assault, when literally the men found themselves outnumbered, they turned around and got their shit together to defend themselves versus each other. Why Jon Moxley was preserved, of course, by Marina Shafir and the guy out of the building. Mariah May looking to be Thunder Rosa's undoing and send her 6 feet under to be forgotten, not remembered. As, of course, the Glamour is looking to literally destroy everyone's dreams for She's Reality in front of La Mera Mera's family. And what now is going to be a Tijuana street fight after the Glamour beat her sister for life in Mina Shirakawa. Again, she did what she had to do, but she still loves Mina. And again, who doesn't love Mina? And, of course, we know Kenoto Takeshita will defend that title against Powerhouse Hobbs, the AEW National Championship, after the fallout from Rampage. We talked about the semifinals and the finals. The Continental Classic will conclude at World's End. And, of course, MJF will defend the Diamond Ring for the 5th time consecutively. See if he keeps holding on to it at World's End against Adam Cole. And we'll see who truly bears the ring and gets what they want. Is Adam Cole more of a double than MJF has been? And will he finally get revenge, or will he literally once again fail at everything at the expense of his friends?
All I got to say about that whole Cole MJF thing, let's wrap it up. As much as we've been going at this for about a year now.
Give or take, I lost count.
And I know injuries have halted that, and I know injuries did play a big part of the, downward spiral that was, the revealing of the devil from that point at last year's World's End. But let's put a bow on this and let it wrap. Let's move on from that feud. But as far as anything goes with that, Konosuke and Hobbs are going to give us a match of meat proportions. Mariah May and Thunder Rosa is going to give us a Tijuana flavoring in Orlando. And in that 4-way, all chaos will break loose in that 4-way.
Right? That's putting it politely. And also, I got to ask, because, of course, we went for Winter is Coming and the Blizzard Pass. What did you think of Mariah May versus Mina Shirakawa and the return of Rockstar Tony Storm?
My heart was torn. It was split 50-50. I didn't know who to go for. So don't surprise me. Anyways, it was basically for me, whoever win. And Tony went back. But I feel like with the way how they showed the graphic of Toni Storm portrait of a rock star, and then I put the two similarities side by side of when she did Portrait of a Star with RJ to now Portrait of a Rock Star with RJ. I'm fully convinced after last night that that timeless Toni Storm is inside Rockstar Toni Storm, because Toni does not remember a darn thing in 2022 at all. She's playing it like she's brand new. She's a rookie, and it's like she time traveled.
I still say midlife crisis / crisis in confidence, like when Kazuchika Okada was red hair balloon Scooby-Doo, and it took literally somebody like himself to bring him back around in Switchblade Jay White. And you did hear that last name that RJ City dropped, Mariah May. What did Toni Storm say? The greatest right now going of all time.
And I feel like she's doing the opposite what Mariah was doing. Because remember what Mariah was doing was basically like on Toni's side just for her to betray her and then get the title from her in London earlier this year. And I feel like Toni is doing this in reverse, but she's doing a time travel type way of, yeah, I think that's still timeless Toni, but she's going back in time to catch Mariah slipping when it's the perfect timing to get her ultimate for revenge for what happened in London at All In earlier this year.
Yeah, it's almost like she's going to become Mariah May's biggest fan and then find a way to get to her. But there's going to be something that triggers your timeless icon coming back, I do think. And again, knowing that Grand Slam is down under, venue in question or not, it's still a very big possibility that we are going to run it back with these two. And again, it's one of those things that I wonder, will the sequel surpass the pilot? I mean, I still am putting Mariah May versus freaking Timeless Toni Storm up there as my women's match of the year, despite the fact what just went down the last NJPW show of America. So as we segue real quick here a little bit, allow me to give some quick thoughts and stuff that's happened across all things wrestling. Of course, we had TNA Final Resolution. AJ Francis proved he could do a moonsault the second rope, but thankfully Nick never pertained. Phew. We also, of course, saw Macho Slamovic smash Tasha Steelz after Santino Marella banned Alicia Edwards from the building and threatened to fire her. And the cold ban will get you a subscription on TNA Plus at a discounted rate. Freaking Santino Marella is good, freaking brilliant. I don't care. Ace Austin, of course, great hard-fought win on behalf of Chris Bay, using later the attack finisher to beat Trent Seven and Mustache Mountain. Kushida tried to dissect the left arm of Moose and did so, but Moose was able to create distance and hit him with a spear to retain the X Division championship. And, of course, our fatal four-way, we saw Josh Alexander, did not know how to use a zip tie, apparently, with a steel guardrail. What the hell was that? With Mike Santana and Steve Macklin. And, of course, the winner of that match was the new number contender for the TNA World Championship at Genesis. And that winner, indeed, was, say his name, if you believe, because I believe, and I was right. And also, I'm going to say real quick tonight because, spoiler alert, the TNA Best of Awards are in 2024. And guess who was the moment of the year when he went viral? 250 pounds of pure motivation. The answer to all life questions, the new number contender who will face Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Championship at Genesis. And his name, King, is Joe Hendry.
Amen. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yes! Do you believe? And congratulations to Joe Hendry, by the way, on winning that 2024 TNA award. And speaking of awards, Jordan Grace, who went one-on-one with Rosemary. Hold that thought. A very unique match of mental and physical warfare where Rosemary seemed to outsmart Jordan Grace at every possible step. And by the way, Jordan Grace was voted Knockout of the Year. Congratulations to the Juggernaut on an incredible year holding TNA literally all up by herself for the entire women's division, including Cross the Line and NXT and the Royal Rumble. What 2025 holds us over the Juggernaut remains to be seen. But we might be on the verge of nuclear warfare happening if you believe the past can reoccur in the present, because diamonds are forever, undeniable she may be, but boy, what a bomb it was to see. Tessa Blanchard is back in TNA Wrestling, as that knockouts match between Rosemary and Jordan Grace was front of no contest as she buzzsaw DDT'd Jordan Grace into the canvas. King, what the fuck is happening in TNA?
How can I put this politely? Why? Why, Anthem? Why? That's all I want to know. I know I'm being like Simon Miller right now, but
clearly,
why go down that route of getting Tessa Blanchard back? Unless she's done the right thing and she is a changed woman. I am not liking this move at all because of personal reason. I got concerns. I do. And as well as almost everybody else does, which it's understandable because of Tessa's past. Unless she is a changed woman, I'm talking 100% changed, clean slate, and whatnot. This has me concerned about TNA as far as 2025 goes. Because Jordan Grace contracts might expire. Speedball Mike Bailey is rumored to go to AEW. Kushida, from what I've heard, just now left the company on good terms. He's going to focus on New Japan. Josh Alexander's contract is about to expire. Jay Chung, from what I've heard, allegedly reports she's not going to renew her contract. So that leaves alleged speculation that Josh Alexander and Jay Chung are not allegedly coming back to TNA.
Oh, damn.
So if bringing Tessa is a good move from a business standpoint, I'm kind of concerned. I am, because it's like, heck, did freeze over when Punk came back, but at least Punk has made on good terms as we know of so far since he's been back. Tessa, on the other hand, I've heard from the TNA locker room, from some, that there's been some positive outcomes. Some.
I mean, Moose,
not all.
Right?
Yeah, Moose. Yeah, there was that picture that went viral on the IWC, and boy, Moose was defending Tessa like it was 300.
Hearing this man literally said at one point, no Scott D'Amore, no Moose in TNA, and literally you could say that Moose and the system are the reason TNA has literally had life in them, because they've literally been part of TNA's entire resurgence.
But if you're going to have Tessa be the face of TNA once again, prove to me that she's a changed woman, and I could probably get behind that again. Because this is not the first time she's been on top. That's where I respected her at that time before the dumb stuff she did.
Yeah, I remember her matches with the Bunny, Allie, when she won the Impact Knockouts World Championship against her and Sue Young and Triple Threat. Of course, you all can see the playlist on YouTube. Her versus Sami Callihan for both the Impact World Championship at the time and the Slammiversary main event are still held up as two of the greatest matches in TNA history, and some hold it up as one of the greatest matches in women's wrestling history. That sets values no matter what you want to say about Aftermath, to your point. And again, we saw at one point also the passing of the torch by literally the original knockout herself, Gail Kim. And as far as we know, Gail Kim is still the freaking leader and trailblazer and guider, shaping and leading this Knockouts women's division. And with a champion like Masha Slamovich leading it right now after a 2-year journey, and I'm loving her smashing everybody. I cannot wait for her to take on Kylan King when she returns to ministry, and Killer Kelly, when she returns being a real mommy, unlike Rhea Ripley. Unlike, again, when she comes back. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Back so fast. But it's one of those things where I saw so many stories developing with Monty Slam. Tessa was not on my radar. Tessa Blanchard and Monty Slamovic. Oh shit!
I ain't gonna lie. I would not mind seeing that one-on-one encounter.
But you and I gotta think at this point, and again, go check out the session now. We talk more about this, folks. You gotta imagine they're gonna try, keyword try, to run Tessa Blanchard and Jordan Grace before Jordan Grace, if she chooses to leave, leaves TNA for possibly Royal Rumble and WWE.
They got to at least try, because if that's going to be Jordan's send-off, allegedly, then let it be the one to be Tessa Blanchard, to make Tessa Blanchard the face of TNA, TNA's Knockouts division once again.
Well, I don't know if she's going to be the face, because I do wonder, to your point, she changed, that it's not about just her, it is about the division. Again, in this business, you can't be about yourself. You have to be about others. It's the only way the business grows and progresses. Selfish people hold it down. And there's no argument right now with the scope of shared interpromotional business. We are living in a far less selfish business this day and age across the world. And I love to see it. You could literally look at STARDOM, New Japan Pro Wrestling with the historic crossover too, and all the inclusion of STARDOM and New Japan now here with AEW and across their stages together. Hell, we got the IWGP Women's Championship and Stardom talent on both Wrestle Dynasty and Wrestle Kingdom January 4th and 5th. Not to mention, we just saw Hazuki give Mercedes Moné, and arguably what right now is my women's match of the year, and arguably probably Mercedes Moné's best match of her career. As we segue real quick, again, Tessa, I really hope the past does not haunt you nor determine you in the future going forward. May you build yourself a better present with those around you as well, because I still believe in TNA for what it is, the alternative, and I do still love TNA wrestling. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. My fandom, my personality, my judgment is not defined by social media or acts of the past. And I'm going to probably cause controversy here, but I don't give a damn. This is what it means to stand out from the world and be different. I'm a Christian. I'm a Baptist. The Lord asks us to forgive all transgressions as he forgive our own. We are not perfect. Nobody is. But anybody can grow from their past over time. You can admit forgiveness to him. That's entirely up to you, because he knows all if you even choose not to. But you need to forgive yourself, and you need to pass forgiveness onto those that you did wrong if you still can. Because you have to live with your own sins. You have to live with your own faults. You have to live with your own dismay and mistakes for the rest of your life if you don't find closure. I still have regrets to this day for the things I said against my father now that he's no longer with me. It's part of me to this day that still hates myself and can't forgive myself for the way that I was. That turned me into the man I am today, but I'm sad I never got to prove it to him, if I'm going to get personal. And this is me being personal here, not just a fan, not acting like NAF. This is me. I am Noah Foss. I am a simple man. I take care of a stroke survivor. I'm a caretaker for my mother, and I literally do believe that anybody can be forgiven for what they've done in the past, for I am not them. I am me. I live for me, not for them. You should not live literally holding judgment against those you do not know. But if you don't agree with who they are, then keep them out of your life, but don't keep passing negative transgression on them if they're still trying to live theirs.
Bravo, man. Is this church, or is this supposed to be the ATW Impromptu? Man, I feel like I want to just listen to a sermon.
And some people say I should be in radio or be a preacher, and either of those I'm like, no, I don't like public speaking. But thank you. Anyway.
Why not? You should be.
You're nice. Bottom line, trust in TNA or don't watch the product. It's as simple as that. All right, let's go ahead and move on real quick and talk a little bit more about other things here in wrestling. Again, we talked about the fact that we are on the verge of Wrestle Dynasty, Wrestle Kingdom. But before all that, at the World's End, Storm, of course, has Dream Queendom. And we know now what the card will consist of. A lot of stories, a lot of emotions, a lot of strength to prove, a lot of dreams to be created or to be ruined. We, of course, will have Siri, who was betrayed by Konami earlier this year of God's Eye, returning back to Lato Tai and being part of Hate. Suri's looking to end this once for all and has now become a no pinfalls match. The only way to win is by knockout or submission. After Sari Onoi lost the Wonder Storm Championship and regained it against a student of Michael Satomura in Miko Iwata in what was a sleeper dual number of matches, and by the way, she represents Sendai Girls. They are looking to finish the thing once for all in their 5th ever singles encounter, where it feels like Sarai has this dark cloud looming over her. She is the way that she is because of her, and is looking to end things once and for all at STARDOM Dream Queendom. We have no idea who's going to finish things. Of course, for the Goddess of STARDOM Tag Team Championships, Thekla and Momo Watanabe, of course, of Hate, will defend the gold against this year's winners from the Goddess of STARDOM Tag League in Wingori, Hanan and Saida, of course, of Stars. And, of course, Thekla right now is suspended due to her transgressions recently against STARDOM officials, including Okada. And, of course, our double main, I like to call it, Baby White Journey of Natsupoi, will defend that gold against Starlight Kid, who relinquished the Spark Joshi Pro Championship to focus strictly on this. That's how bad she wants to win this title, represent STARDOM. And, of course, our main event, the Phoenix Queen, Dark Phoenix, whatever you want to call her, of Hate, Saya Kamatani goes one-on-one with Tam Nakano for the World of Storm Championship in what feels like an eternity in the making after Saya has lost everything, and Saya blames Tom still for the injury that happened last year that took her out of the Firestar Grand Prix. After losing Otame Hayashita, her best friend, after losing her faction's Queen's Quest, after losing her high-speed championship, she has fallen to darkness, to Hate, and is looking to literally be Tam Nakano's undoing. While Tam, who says she brought Saya in as an idol, they were both formerly idols, Tam is looking to literally clip the black wings off the Phoenix Queen before she rises once and for all. And more importantly, Tam looks to remove Saya from STARDOM and professional wrestling. Damn.
Wow.
And that is STARDOM's Wrestle Kingdom, King. That is STARDOM Dream Queendom. That is available on Abema pay-per-view, and that will be December 29th, the day after World's End. And officially, that is the last wrestling show of the year. And of course, I know you don't know a lot about STARDOM, but you follow to a degree, so I hope I gave you a little bit of a light summary there and how important this show means to me as a fan of all things wrestling, as a lover of Joshi Pro, and again, Michael Satomura, who's on her retirement, who are retiring next year. Tell me that freaking Mika does not look like Michael Satomura right there in the bottom middle.
Yeah, she kind of does. She kind of does.
She literally is a student of the final boss. Pun intended. All right. Well, now that I was able to bring that up for it, and thank you for that, let's go ahead and move into our next topic, because we talked about the world going viral, the wrestling industry going global, how things seem untouchable. It's hard to argue, King, right now with Raw going to Netflix. WWE might truly be reaching the impossible, as we had the kickoff party to Monday Night Raw on Netflix from WWE headquarters, of course, the new headquarters with as much LED that you could think of. And they are trying to make this a one-of-a-kind card unlike the likes we've ever seen before. We know that Seth freaking Rollins versus CM Punk will happen. Logan Paul is now signed to Monday Night Raw. Gooper is looking to literally slap the face off of him. I cannot wait for that personally. Kevin Owens invaded, holding the Wing Eagle Championship, while Michael Cole still calls him delusional, maybe justified. And after Rhea Ripley called Dominic Mysterio chicken tendered slut. Damn.
I'll give Mommy credit on that one.
Jimmy, is he wrong? Thomas is telling lies. Rhea Ripley will now go one-on-one with Liv Morgan for the Women's Heavyweight Championship with the Raw on Netflix. And so much more to happen, including we're finally going to see who we acknowledge as our tribal chief between Roman Reigns and Sikoa for the Ula Fala King in tribal combat. For a 3-hour kickoff to the new year, this 3 hours on Netflix might be the most important 3 hours we see from WWE all year, because this is the kickoff on the road to WrestleMania. So, with all that being known now, King, what do you guys say with the Raw Netflix launch party and what's to be expected? And what do you think of this movement?
The Raw and Netflix had like so much hype. The kickoff has so much hype behind it. And of course, it did not disappoint, especially Paul Heyman being there live and just basically iced out cold on the mic with Solo Sikoa. Left Solo Sikoa speechless. Of course, CM Punk and Seth Rollins still got unfinished business with each other, and I can't wait for Gunther to slap the taste out of Logan Paul. I can't wait for that. The match will always be sacred in my book.
Damn right. It better be always in your book, or you and I are going to fight. Continue.
All right. And then, of course, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. Yeah, we've been there and done that. I don't care for it, but that was a nice little dig at Dominic Rhea. I will give you that one. Nice little dig there.
I didn't think you could say slut on freaking television, so maybe Raw is.
I didn't think you could say it on the USA Network, but I guess we were both proven wrong.
I guess, damn.
Like, I thought you were going to say that for Netflix when they can. Well, no, because you can't say that on Netflix because Nick Khan and Triple H have said that they're going to try to keep it PG, even on Netflix. But only certain superstars can get away with it, like Rhea Ripley.
Well, I mean, when you look at Rhea Ripley's character, I guess it's justified in what was her mic drop of the year, and not to mention Triple H calling this better than the Attitude Era. And again, it's hard to argue right now with the Paul Triple H era not even a year old yet. This has been the great eras of WWE we've ever seen as fans across all three brands.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Triple H. Yeah, you was a part of it, a major part of the Attitude Era. But that's a little bit of a stretch. I'll give it time. It's getting up there, But I don't think it's better than the Attitude Era, in my opinion, at least. A little bit of a stretch, but give it time. It might.
Fair enough, but please continue.
But let's see here. What else? I just hope they get that streaming issue fixed. I hope they from a business standpoint. I hope they covered all their bases of what happened with one of the worst boxing matches of all time. I hope they covered all their bases as far as streaming quality, as far as network connection, and all that, because I'm pretty sure they know how many people are wrestling fans combined with them having the Netflix app and basically tuning in at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, the Raw on Netflix is the first Monday of the new year, and that, of course, will be January 6th. But before that, we have AEW streaming on Max with the Monday Ball simulcast with, like you said, Fight for the Fallen. As far as we know, that will be 2 hours, but I do wonder with the fact that that's going to be both streaming and on television. Can it handle the bandwidth threshold and manage enough across both audiences while Raw exclusively goes to streaming on Netflix? And I already saw what Netflix did to your point with that fight. It's almost one of those things where I don't care about the numbers. I care about the quality of the stream. I think I said this with Walter Cruz. The best streaming service for me this year has been TNA Plus when it comes to the TNA pay-per-views, because the flow, the mid between the matches of TNA, where it's just solely backstage walk, backstage look, backstage interview, no damn 50, 90-minute advertisements on absolute bullshit you can get jack shit about, no poor buffling issues, no redundancy with DraftKings. I'm going to cover all companies here, so I'm unbiased. TNA pay-per-views have had the best flow, transitions, and book build-out cards this year as far as a big wrestling show without feeling underwhelming or overwhelming. It had the perfect flow. With Raw now going exclusive to Netflix, though, jury is still out there if that service can handle it and if the show will continue to be worth it. You got a hell of a launch, but can you keep up with that? We know for a duration they probably will, because it's the road to WrestleMania. You got to consider everything's going to hit the fan. And one way or another, the final boss is going to return because, as I said, Cody Rhodes' story with The Rock just started, and I'm damn sure it's nowhere near finishing. And you know Cody's coming back after Kevin Owens. We know that's going to happen. So it's just a matter of how you keep us invested as fans. Everybody, new, casual, hardcore, long-term, short-term, etc., casual viewer, vacuuming, or playing a video game off to the side while looking at Netflix on their phone. You got to really keep us engaged constantly. Now you're exclusively on Netflix. You got to hope that the service holds up as well, because Netflix is already over double the amount of Peacock. And they're probably going to raise their prices again if I know freaking monopolization. Just
and good luck after this year, because I think 2025 WWE and Peacock, if WWE chooses not to renew with Peacock as far as streaming PLEs, they're gonna move to Netflix. And y'all better take a good look whenever the next time y'all go on y'all's Peacock app. Because once again, if they choose not to renew Peacock's contract next year, some of that content that you see on Peacock from the WWE side, you won't see on Netflix at all.
Nope, and it's a very, very unique thing. And I know we just got news on the AEW side of things with Max, but we'll save that for more of next week. Again, I'm looking forward to this show, honestly, because it's the first Raw of the new year. It's the start of the road to WrestleMania. There's a lot of twists and turns heading into the Royal Rumble as far as who you think could win for the men's side of things, especially when it comes to the World Championship. We don't know the favorite yet for Paul Heyman. And also at this point, we have no idea what the fuck they're going to do with the women in its entirety, besides the fact everyone's praying for the New Year resolution of Tiffany Time becoming the new SmackDown Women's Champion by WrestleMania, if not at that stage. Just saying. Or at least that's my vision. I don't know about you. And of course, NXT, we know at New Year's Evo, holy hell, Oba Femi is going to challenge Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. And we know Roxanne Perez wants to go defend the NXT Women's Championship against beautiful Mass herself.
Called it. I called it. I called it whenever I called it. I said in the Iron Survivor Women, I said Julie was going to take it.
Damn it. It was a hell of a match, though. And again, that match was absolutely worth that show in itself. Good show, though, but that match was worth itself, and those women deserved the main event. That was a hell of a 25 minutes. Insane. Poor Lynn Sinclair. But still, a super player of the NXT Women's Division. All right. Well, as we segue into things here real quick, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about all things wrestling before we get to our main event with some previews tomorrow, Final Battle. As, of course, we had Strong Style Evolved. We talked about subtly. We have new Strong Tag Team Champions of West Coast Grand Crew that beat the Grizzled Young Veterans. And we also saw, arguably, the women's match of the year where the Wild Heart Hazuki took Mercedes Moné to the limit. What was her redemption arc going full circle in the exact same building where she lost a year of her career. Mercedes Moné was able to beat Hazuki in a near 30-minute banger and defend successfully the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. But tell me right now that Hazuki did not impress the world that night and deserves to be a singles champion. That match was beyond incredible.
Like, I'm going to say this once for all the Mercedes haters out there that still want to continue to hate on this woman. Whether you love her or you hate her, Mercedes right now is finding her groove once again. Go back and watch her match with Statlander at Full Gear. Meltzer gave that a 5. A 5 on the Meltzer scale. If that match does not open your eyes to both Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné, I don't know what you're doing. And then going along with Walter Pyramid in Long Beach with Hazuki, if that match did not open your eyes to both, once again, Mercedes Moné and Hazuki, you're tripping. Because Mercedes right now is finding her groove. And what's dangerous about that is that she's got that fire back. She's got that killer instinct back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's more of an evolved Mercedes than what we ever seen post-WWE or her final days in WWE. With her still being TBS champion. With her still being New Japan Strong Women's champion. This woman is untouchable right now. And plus, I'm going to say this too. That was Anna Jay's best match to date. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You're not wrong.
Ever since Anna Jay came back from Japan, from Stardom, at that 5-star Grand Prix, she's improved. She's gotten better. And with her match with Mercedes last night, that was all I needed to see.
I mean, again, she hung with Mariah May and pinned the AEW Women's World Championship and took her to the limit to the extreme after that. And then she hung with the CEO in a very game bout that nearly went to the 20-minute time limit. So Anna Jay truly has encompassed what Stardom is about. proving you're the strongest. If not, continue to grow stronger and always hold on to a dream until you fulfill it. That is stardom. Anna Jay is a star in the rise. But again, Mercedes Moné, I mean, I talked about some of her best matches across all the companies, whether it was Charlotte Flair, whether it was Bayley, Ronda Rousey, WWE, whether it's Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, AEW, now Anna Jay added to the mix, like you said, or whether what we see now outside of it with Stardom, when she lost, of course, to Mayu Iwatani, what she did surviving against Hazuki, because goddamn, Hazuki was this fucking close. And of course, we saw what she did, of course, with the likes of Momo Watanabe at Capital Collision. But again, hate's always hate. It is what it is with that. But Momo Watanabe, though, just the moment of light I saw in her at historic crossover where she threw the bat and looked to beat Mayu Iwatani to prove that she actually was better with on asterisks. It gives me hope that Momo can actually rise from hate and maybe one day find what she needs to be a champion we all can be proud of in Stardom. We always thought she should have been. But it is one of those things right now where, again, Mercedes Moné has truly stepped up her game in the last 3 months alone. And I do think, honestly, right now, with Chris Statlander, her running it back, if you want to kick things off strong on TBS January 1st, I think Chris Statlander should be the one to beat Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. At least till we find out when Camille comes back from injury, in case those are wondering. She's injured. So that's why she hasn't been booked. So get the crap out of your ears. God damn. Lord forgive me. But it's one of those things right now where, again, I have to defend Moné with what she's done since freaking Full Gear primarily. She's legit. She has gone legit in that ring against the competitors. No screwy shenanigans either. Desperation, though, of course, buying the hand and the thigh, though. But at the end of the day, when you're champion, you got to do what you need to do to try and save your life and your title. But at the end of the day, it was the better wrestler that won. And the challenger did not look weak in defeat. So, phenomenal 3 matches for Moné to close out the year for the CEO. She's definitely garnered my respect. But I still hate the dance. But you know what I do love, though? I love Mina. We all want Mina. And Mina Shirakawa wants what Mercedes Moné has in the WWE Strong Women's Championship. And boy, did they celebrate and hype up that shit. That Moné.
That's how you call it. That's how you
look. Now I'm just a simple man, and I love the crazy, unorthodox, and the passionate women of wrestling that stand out above all. But Mina Shirakawa can celebrate any time for me when it comes to hyping up a match like that in a wrestling ring. I'm just saying. God damn.
What did Dave Meltzer say about Mina Shirakawa a few months ago? Oh, yes. He said the following words. Incredible live show charisma. Mina has that.
Accurate. This is accurate.
And that CEO dance-off to close out the show and give us a confrontation for Wrestle Dynasty between both of those ladies. Get me to Wrestle Dynasty ASAP, like Rocky. Because those 2 women are going to work in that Tokyo Dome, and I'm going to be up on my feet, probably waving my Bullet Club shirt.
Breathe, brother.
I'm just saying, bruv.
Breathe, bro. Breathe. We got to get there first. Calm down. I know we're excited for Itinyon, Itingo, but kudasai, as I'm learning Japanese lightly on Duolingo. My goal is to one day literally call a match in New Japan all in Japanese. That's how much I'm dedicated to trying to learn Japanese at this point. I love calling Japanese pro wrestling. I love educating, but there's something special about Japanese commentary, the energy, and just hearing the commentators. That poor commentator, though, and Iska just are never going to be friends. Iska, that commentator's haunting nightmare. I love it, and I almost feel bad for him. But anyway, to your point, of course, if Mina Shirakawa is the Red Pro Undisputed Women's British Heavyweight Champion, if she defends the title successfully against the woman she beat for it in Danny Luna at Red Pro, it also will be title for title. But to your point, King, Itinyon, Itingo, Wrestle King and Wrestle Dynasty are absolutely fucking stacked to the max. January 4th and January 5th can't come soon enough, knowing the Cleaners come back soon AEW, but the Cleaners coming back to the Tokyo Dome to take on the freaking crazy War Dog, our Standard Strong champion, Gabe Kidd, who also, like I had said, after he's done with that match, he wants to stone Pitbull Tomoshi E at freaking Battle in the Valley.
Yep, in San Jose.
California. Speaking of which, real quick, again, yes, we love Mina. But also, shout out to Sumi Sakai, who, of course, announced her retirement officially. Hey, Gum, what is going on with the freaking this year and next year? Everybody trying to retire at this point. I understand you gave you a bit, but it still hurts me, but I appreciate it. But that being said, we know she will be a unique 6-person mixed tag team match. And, of course, we already see who's on Hiromu's side as she, of course, goes up against Team Hiromu. We got freaking Mayu Iwatani. Good Lord. And speaking of Hiromu Takahashi, we now know the winners of the World Tag League were Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito, who beat the War Dogs in Sonata and Gabe Kidd. But they are not going to go after the Tag Gold. They are finally going to go one-on-one in a special singles match. And that is our semi-main event for Wrestle Kingdom 19 in the Tokyo Dome. Absolutely insane when you look at both of these cards and how they are stacked, how one has so much cause and effect on the other. January 4th and January 5th can't come soon enough, and you and I are going to predict and review both those fucking nights, one way or another.
There's one thing you left out when we was talking about
What?
Speaking of California and speaking of Wrestle Dynasty,
California.
My EVP decided to return to the glory that is New Japan. And what's a California show, especially in New Japan, without your beloved EVPs? But a certain scapegoat didn't look too happy to see them.
I don't know where that stands. Yeah, that was kind of weird. And of course, Jet Prey will take on Yoda who could be the new Global Heavyweight Champion at WrestleDynasty. Again, a lot of cause and effect, but bottom line, folks, stay tuned for ATW and Super Bravo Studios. We're going to keep you in tune with preview, predictions, coverage, analysis, reactions, and so much more. And yes, I am bringing back the City Predicting game for Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleDynasty to see who get the best score across both nights. Stay tuned for that, and you and I got to make that preview show for Wrestle Kingdom at least official, because there's nobody who can predict Wrestle Dynasty as well, because the matches of Wrestle Kingdom affect what the hell Wrestle Dynasty can be.
Yep, exactly.
But that being said, what not is going to be affected towards what we know now. Let's go ahead and get right into our main event. Unless I forgot anything else, or did Tula mention me about any of our awards. It looks like the 2024 One to Watch in 2025 award goes to the young OG from the UK, Leon Slater. Leon Slater, of course, who apparently impressed JDC and talked about apparently that he's going to touch the system on their bus. Leon Slater did not know the system had a bus. A bus? They got a bus? I guess they do have a bus. But we'll see what happens with that, as a system might be trying to add to their ranks, or maybe put Leon Slater through like a trial and error type thing. I have no idea what that's going to lead to. But let's go ahead and talk about what's ahead this weekend, shall we, with the premiere event. As, of course, we go back to the spiritual home of ROH King, where honor is real. But will honor truly be real tomorrow night and reshaping before the new year, where ROH discussions are heavily our focus? Let's go ahead and slowly hype up some of the biggest matches for this card. It's Ring of Honor Final Battle, and they are going back home, like I said, once again, to the spiritual home of ROH, the Hammerstein Ballroom. And we got a lot of matches. Now, of course, it would take forever to predict all these. That's not what ACW does. We talk about the marquee matches, and we just came off the go-home show, and why they added more matches, which, again, I'm just like, damn it, Tony Khan! You freaking madman! Why
he doesn't? He doesn't. He does. This is what he does. This is his tradition. I don't know what's going to take to stop him from doing this.
I give the freaking intervention. Put the man on ice. Take away the pen and paper. Dadgummit. 4 on the 0 hour, 9 on the maker, 13 matches. You freaking madman. And you're still doing freaking 3 other shows from this venue on 2 more days back to back. What the hell?
I don't see how he does it. Yes, he has his flaws, but I just don't see how he does it.
Yeah, I swear, I say what is sleep. I don't think that man even sleeps on a freaking jet. Anyway, that's enough of madman Tony Khan talk about. Again, don't be a Twitter troll, folks. Tony Khan, you seem like a good person. Stop feeding into social media. Just stop it, please.
Just come over to Blue Sky, Tony. There's more chill over there. Just come over to Blue Sky. We're more chill.
Well, for now, the jury's still out on that, but I do see what you're saying. But again, as somebody who's already introverted enough and barely interfaces with social media, again, that's all. Whoop, because again, I have no notifications. I literally go in there and be like, hey, fam, what's up? And unless you actually have something of value to talk to me about, shout out to Jake something, by the way, I'm just like, okay, let's keep going. All right, but let's go ahead and talk about Ring of Honor Final Battle, King. Of course, Ring of Honor Final Battle has been the stage for so many final battles, pun intended, changes for, the course, the World Championship, Tag Team Champions. We've seen ladder wars. We've seen matches where people are at risk of being removed from ROH in the past. Even outside this staged name of a show that's been part of Ring of Honor since its inception. This is the 23rd final battle and the 13th one in total from the Hammerstein Ballroom, despite the fact it had 2 different names in its inception. 4 times, of course, it was called the Manhattan Center Ballroom. Call it what you will, folks. It is the Hammerstein Ballroom. It is as simple as that. In the center of the Manhattan Center, New York, the city that never sleeps. And, of course, I talk about when Dalton Castle beat Cody Rhodes for the Ring of Honor World Championship. We talk about El Generico beat Kevin Steen. We talk about freaking Briscoes beating SCU and the Young Bucks in a ladder war for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. We talk about how Kelly Klein became truly the gatekeeper of the women's division, beating Sumi Sakai and I'm forgetting the other name. It was a triple threat. Again, I can only remember so much off the top of my head. And so much more. You get the idea. This is the most important show of Ring of Honor's calendar year for a reason and their final stop. And there is a lot to talk about.
Yes, there is.
Well, let's go ahead and slowly talk about some of this stuff, shall we? Think what I'm saying, man? Let's go ahead and start with the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. This has gotten extremely personal and bloody, and it's sure to be even more brutal. It is now a Texas Bull Rope match. As, of course, we have the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions on the line. The Sons of Texas, Sonny Guevara. And, of course, the natural Dustin Rhodes. They defend the gold against a team hell-bent on winning these titles, including using Dustin Rhodes' own cowbell given by his father against him, as we saw tonight. I'll let you talk more about that. The Righteous. Well, again, they have made their intentions well known that they are looking to finally become the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions and sent one very painful, personal message at the expense of the Natural in his own wrestling academy in front of his tag team partner via FaceTime. You know, it's one of those things where you don't bet against Roman Reigns, you don't bet against Charlotte Flair usually. I don't bet against Dustin Rhodes when it comes to a Texas Bull Rope match or when he's back because it's against the wall. And this one last ride that culminated in him and Sammy Guevara becoming the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and something that people did not expect when they beat the Undisputed Kingdoms, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. It's a wild thing to see how it's worked and how well they have coexisted as a tag team. So, King, your thoughts on this?
The mind games for the Righteous have finally caught up to Dustin and Sammy to where when Ian Riccaboni said on commentary tonight, the footage that we're going to show you is very graphic and very unsoothing. The word similar to the words he said. I was like, oh, we're going to be in for some graphic footage. And lo and behold, Dutch using Dustin's cowbell, the same cowbell that Dusty gave him, and then it was covered in Dustin's blood to FaceTime Sammy to let Sammy know they're coming for those Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. And like you said, you can never bet against Dustin when his back is against the wall, and you can never bet against Sammy neither. Because this is also a no DQ stipulation match with a Texas Bull Rope match. Sammy can get loco, and Dustin can get aggressive. I'm going with the Sons of Texas winning here. I mean, yes, this is the Righteous second chance at the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, because we all know what the first one with the handicap. I don't know what's up with that one. We don't talk about that match at all. But yeah, this is their second attempt at the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. But this is where the Righteous messed up. This is where the Righteous got so comfortable in Dustin's head to where they don't know that the Natural will come out with a different type of aggression, especially when you use his father's cowbell against him like that. And Sammy Guevara, like I said, he can get loco. when it comes to these no DQ stipulation type matches, it can get loco. Very loco. Yeah. So I got the Sons of Texas retaining the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships.
It's just one of those things right now where I wonder again. He keeps talking about one last ride, one last ride, one last ride. How long is this one last ride, and where does it end? And the Righteous, again, they are ROH, and we haven't seen Sammy Guevara for quite a while. And in a way, I do think the Righteous are justified in finally getting their moment. We talk about Final Battle being a stage of moments, not necessarily always the brightest of moments. Part of me is torn, and again, folks, there are 13 matches total on this card. We are not going through all of them tonight. That is crazy. I will officially do a City Predicting special ahead of the watch-along tomorrow, some point. Stay tuned in the near future, courtesy of the Simple Man's brand, and also stay tuned for the forum because, again, ROH may only have 3 pay-per-views, but it is still a league. Good luck in the league conclusion. The forum will be out at some point tomorrow morning after I come home from haircut and Christmas shopping, so stay tuned. But anyway, as far as this match goes, I just think that the Righteous are overdue for their win and their moment. So I think I'm actually going to go with them because it is one of those things where it's like you put old Yeller down the pasture. I think the Righteous are overdue for that big win. And while it might be their second chance, it's been a long damn time right now since the Righteous have literally had a chance. And Dustin already is still a champion. Remember, he still won third of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team with the Von Erich. So does he need both titles? I don't think so. I expect it to be a bloody barbaric war, the same stage where GCW has literally taken place. Duh. But also the ECW One Night Stand, and I do expect one of these matches to riot if a certain person doesn't win. But that being said, we'll talk more about that here a little later. I think I'm going to split with you for now and say that the Righteous are going to get, because right now the Righteous, they have all the psychological warfare and momentum, and they give zero fucks. And while Sammy is local and Dustin might be hell-bent, Dustin is not a spring chicken anymore. And the lengths of history that Dustin and Dutch share, that to me is going to be a defining moment. One of those is going to get a little bit of cowbell to the head, and that right there might be the finishing scene on who leads here with the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. But I'm going with the Righteous. Good luck to both teams, though. It's going to be a violent one, to say the least. Yeesh.
Very violent.
I like violence. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit now about QT Marshall versus Jay Lethal and what feels personal far more than professional in what feels like 12 years plus of looming anger and judgment. Of course, we saw the sit down here and that cheap shot that literally jacked Jay Lethal's jaw. Not as bad as Jay Von Emmon's jaw was jacked by Evil Page on freaking NXT. Jesus Christ. But of course, Jay Lethal, the franchise, I talk about again, Ring of Honor Final Battle, the stage at one point that Jay Lethal defended the Ring of Honor World Championship against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And of course, the franchise, the longest reigning Ring of Honor World Champion, not overall Ring of Honor Champion in the company's history. Now he goes one-on-one with QT Marshall and what could be a sleeper match of the night, considering both these men have capabilities at wrestling. So what's your thoughts on this singles encounter here, Anthony? Again, we talked about 2012. Here we are 12 years later. Yeesh.
And 12 years later, I never knew that Jay Lethal and QT Marshall, with the way how they, brought it home with their sit-down interview with Ian Riccaboni, would just be like, okay, now we're kind of picking up a little flavor here. Because I didn't know QT Marshall, I didn't know Jay Lethal can go back to, deep tap into that franchise that he was once known as Ring of Honor. But also, Jay Lethal said that he wants gold. He wants gold in Ring of Honor. He's on the road to getting gold. But QT Marshall has prevented that from happening. So basically, for Jay Lethal, it's pretty much like, you're in my way. I want to get gold in Ring of Honor. I haven't had gold in Ring of Honor in a long time. But Jay Lethal QT Marshall did not let Jay Lethal finish. So QT Marshall took that personal whenever Jay Lethal said, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for bigger fish to fry. QT took it personal. When Jay Lethal said, if you wanted to match me, all you had to do was just ask. So literally, this is basically when that got brought up, and of course the neck injury that QT Marshall suffered 12 years ago, he felt like that went personal because it was a Jay Lethal match, and he felt like Jay Lethal did that to him. So I got Jay Lethal winning here.
Yeah.
If we're going, if we're going to have Jay Lethal continue that momentum, or at least build that momentum back up, especially in Ring of Honor, yeah, I got Jay Lethal winning here.
Yeah, to me right now, Jay Lethal needs to get back on track. And honestly, the strongest point of his career was in Ring of Honor when he was the Ring of Honor World Champion. If he wants to get back there, he needs to put this personal grudge held by QT Marshall behind him. And QT needs to test Jay Lethal in Jay Lethal's strongest home, Ring of Honor. I expect this to be a very game singles match because QT Marshall is very underrated for what he brings in that ring, including against what he did at Full Gear on the 0 Hour against the Costco boy. But overall, I mean, it should be definitely a unique sleeper bout, and I think Jay Lethal is going to get it honorably. He definitely owes QT Marshall one for that cheap shot to the draw. Damn. And, of course, we hope that honor will be restored. Why not get the guy that literally built a foundation of honor back on top in Ring of Honor? This is a hell of a way to do it.
Indeed.
Also, just want to make a side note. There is a 0 Hour, by the way, folks. And, of course, you could catch Ring of Honor Final Battle as members of Honor Club. Just join Honor Club, like me and King, if you choose. $9.99 plus tax. And, of course, the 0 Hour starts 7 p.m. Standard Time. The actual pay-per-view starts 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, included for Honor Club subscriptions. And, of course, we know on the 0 Hour, we got everyone's favorite, Harley Cameron. That's a screenshot. Taking on Hanako from Stardom. Of course, the tag mate of Micah from the World Goddess of Stardom Tag League. Looking to bounce back, become strong against everyone's wildcat that likes to make you feel the rap, but also has a wonderful voice. I'm just going to say, yay, I'm happy. This is going to be fun and silly. I need Harley Cameron more on my screen. I need Harley Cameron in a Stardom ring. Not much more to say regarding that match, I think, but anything else, King?
Hanako, feel the rap, feel the Harley rap.
Feel the rap of Harley Cameron. Oh, damn. Harley Cameron is a gem like Chelsea Green. Don't at me. All right. Let's go. I just had to talk about Harley Cameron because we appreciate Harley Cameron. I'm just so glad she's finally showcase her skills on her own. That's the way I get well soon. All right. Moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about now Taga style, a whole different form of style, as he defends the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, of course, representing Shane Taylor Promotions, SDP. And, of course, he decided to put out an open challenge to see somebody that could be more technical than him to prove that he is absolutely the best one to hold this championship. You heard what he says. Step up, protect your neck. Well, again, who's going to step up? With some of the defenses most recently against Matt Tim and stopping him getting the Grand Slam, of course. Tie him up in the ropes, might I add, and still having 2 rope breaks. Tough break for the Undisputed Kingdom and Ring of Honor OG. And, of course, he also had defenses against the likes of Angelico. And he has currently now been the Ring of Honor Pure Champion for 147 days, going to his 4th defense since being with Yuta at Double for Dishonor. As right now, Shane Taylor Promotions is looking to get more gold in their ranks. Again, man, your guess is as good as mine, but who the hell could show up in the Hammerstein Bar in New York and try and challenge Tiger Style for the Pure title?
You took the words out of my mouth. I can't figure out anybody right now currently.
I mean, you want somebody that's going to show up out of nowhere to test you violently, methodically, technically. Why not former Ring of Honor TV champion and freaking Minoru Suzuki, the king? He seems to be one of those guys that cons like push button, and I welcome that.
If Minoru Suzuki shows up in the Hammerstein Ballroom, I'm losing my mind tomorrow night. I'm losing my mind.
Room's not going to lose their mind? The freaking former king of pancreas. You kidding me?
That ain't going to have no roof by the time Christmas Collision rolls around.
And, of course, Minoru Suzuki just lost the MLW Tag Team Championships to Satoshi Kojima and Osara, of course, in MLW. And that's a whole different melting pot of trouble with Eric Bischoff back on the helm. Oh, Eric Bischoff. With him comes controversy worse than Jesse Ventura and Drones Furies. I said what I said. That being said, this is going to be fun. Of course, pure matches are the foundation of Ring of Honor. Title held by the likes of course, Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson, one of the greatest rivalries in Ring of Honor history. And, of course, those that will be there will get to watch the Nigel McGuinness documentary. I'm a little bit jealous about that, honestly. That should be a very unique watch. And, of course, talk about before, literally one of the most pure Ring of Honor champions in the company's history. Pure rules, of course, involves rope breaks, a limited number, then they can be used for pinfall submissions. No closed fists to the face. First one gets a warning. Second one, you're disqualified. Title can change hands via disqualification, pinfall submission, and even count out. And if it goes to a draw, it goes to a judge's call. So it's a very unique set of rules that really tests the dynamic of human chess in wrestling. And I love that.
Yes, right. Pure technical wrestling at its finest.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to the roots of the likes I can remember in my lifetime with Rick the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair when they fought over the former friggin' the World Heavyweight Championship back in the late 80s. Of course, me and I think it was JJ that we called that as well, and that was a hell of a good time. Some things in wrestling never grow old, never die. They just constantly get mixed up in different ways with the current generation, like that crazy Alabama Slimmer reversal exchange with Darby Allin and Will Ospreay. What the fuck was that? I've never seen that before in my life.
Me neither.
And Jane's brain broke. As you can imagine.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this match real quick, and we'll see who stirs it up here and who's legit in their claim as the Ring of Honor Women's World TV Championship's on the line. As Red Velvet will defend the gold against legit Layla Hirsch, who, of course, is coming back from that injury after that ridiculous barn burner Texas Death match with Diamante, where she literally dislocated her elbow. But since then, she's been back on the up and up, and she even had a chance to go to Wrestle Dynasty in the International Women's Cup, which, again, folks, it was won by Athena representing ROH. And, of course, CMLL is represented by Persephone, while AEW is represented by Willow Nightingale after the win over Jamie Hayter. Of course, Jamie Hayter will face Julia Hart one-on-one at Ring of Honor, AEW Fight for the Fallen. And, of course, STARDOM will determine their representative across a two-day tournament in Corrigan Hall on the 20th and the 21st. I hope it's personally Suzu Suzuki, and I'll leave it at that. But this right here is a unique bout. Of course, we've seen Red Velvet show her drive as champion, including being Diamante in a street fight. Of course, the former rival of legit Layla Hirsch. And Layla right now believes that she is legit in her claim that she had her during that four-way. And now she's looking to prove it, saying that Red Velvet, you will have no help to prevent me from beating you. So, straight up, King, do you think that legit Layla Hirsch becomes a new Ring of Honor Women's World TV Champion? Could this be an upset?
We could possibly see an upset because Layla Hirsch, ever since coming off that Texas Death match with Diamante, I felt like, and of course that injury she suffered, she's kind of showed me to where she could be at least, holding some golden Ring of Honor, the Women's World Television Championship. But the way how Red Velvet is moving, the way how she is getting, with that title reign of hers, I just can't see it. Right, Red Velvet losing the title just yet. I think Red Velvet is going to retain slightly, but I think Layla Hirsch will give her a run for her money with no Athena and no Billy, in her words, to save her.
That's fair, and I mean, we saw literally on Ring of Honor just tonight how Queen Aminata and Lady Frost try to prove their work towards being future challengers, and Queen Aminata, Red Velvet, I mean, a mutual battle amongst friends of honor, that would be very interesting, considering that Queen Aminata was, of course, part of the finals to crown the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion. Of course, losing it to Billy Starks to do his means that she was under the dark influence of Athena, which no longer definitely seems to be the case. We'll talk about that in our main event. But yeah, I think Red Velvet is going to definitely be tested once again as champion. Her first singles gold, by the way, in her career. Congratulations to her. And I think that she's been a very strong admirable champion. Of course, in Ring of Honor, it is about truly the stronger, better wrestler. It's always been that way since 2002. So I do think that Red Velvet is going to retain as well, but it should be a very game bout, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, well, you can go ahead and break this one down because we saw what happened the last time we had a Survival of the Fittest match. And, of course, Brian Cage was not the champion at the time. Atlantis Jr. was. And Atlantis Jr., of course, he was the guy that made it to the end and pinned Brian Cage to reserve his title. But now Brian Cage, he is prime target, and I think he welcomes it. Of course, now also a member of the Don Callis family alongside Lance Archer, and they are known as Monster Machines. Great tag win tonight. We have also seen now, of course, in vacated circumstances, how far Survival of the Fittest can take a person, including a Commander hanging with Kyle Fletcher. We also saw what happened when Shane Taylor gets pissed off and he knocked the teeth out of Johnny TV back at Death Before Dishonor. And, of course, Survival of the Fittest, for those that don't know, it is basically a six-pack challenge elimination match. Last person to not be eliminated, of course, and everyone else is eliminated via pinfall or submission, is the Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And after Brian Cage beat Atlantis Jr. for this title back at Wrestle Dream, he has been unstoppable, including a successful defense against one of these very men on this graphic, a very game AR Fox. So, King, again, back to you here. Who better than the Machine Brian Cage? Anybody on this graphic? Do you see a new Ring of Honor World Television Champion being the survivor of the fittest?
I don't see Brian Cage losing that title, but what I do see is another survival of the fittest classic, especially when you got Willie Mack, Mr. Chocolate Thunder himself. Then you got Mark Davis, and then you got C2 first alternate himself, Commander, who is, let's not forget, folks, is part of the Continental Classic as the first alternate replacing Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson get well soon. AR Fox, who he shares no strangers with Brian Cage, like you said. Brian Cage defended the ROH World Television Championship against AR Fox. And, of course, you got Hoop Mixtape himself, as I like to call him, half man, half amazing, as I like to call him, Blake Christian. This is going to be another survival of the fittest match to where it's going to be another banger, but Brian Cage is going to retain.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how many eliminations he gets, or does he let the rest of the field eliminate themselves? And again, Commander, I think he has the most survival of the fittest history right now across this domain. Of course, making it all the way to the end against Kyle Fletcher, and it took a freaking sear drop brainbuster off the top turnbuckle pad, along with another follow-up pile driver for the Proto Star to finally win his first title, which also was the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Again, members of the Don Callis family both become Ring of Honor World Television Champion. How poetic. I think Commander is definitely the most dangerous threat here in this match to the Machine, but also considering it's fire with the fittest, you've got to consider that Lance Archer might show up as well and save the day, because again, Don Callis' family is going to preserve themselves. But I think Brian Cage, also because Ring of Honor, might be out to prove a point, as he's been pretty much the duration of his career. I think the Machine is going to retain too, but I'm very curious to see who he retains against in the end. Who's going to test the Machine the hardest in this dance of 6 men? This is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait.
Yes, it is.
In other news, of course, made official on Ring of Honor tonight outside the 0 hour primary match for me. Yay. We have grizzled young veterans taking on the Dark Order in tag team action. We also, of course, have the team of Lee Johnson and NJPW taking on the Gates of Agony. And we also had one other thing. I'm trying to remember what it was.
The Infantry taking on the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yep, that's the 0 hour. Then, of course, 2 more matches were made official for the actual main card here. We have Atlantis Jr. versus Monsieur. And, of course, we also have another sleeper, Katsuyori Shibata, the wrestler, taking on Tommy Billington. Wow, that's as random as it gets.
Random, but a wrestling clinic to look forward to, especially with those 2 men.
Yeah, considering, again, you talk about Tommy Billington literally being the son, of course, Dynamite Kid. I mean, enough said. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about our main event. It will be for the, hi, guys. Just kidding. We got this match first. It's Chris Jericho defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Matt Cardona, the self-proclaimed King of New York, taking on the King of the Indies and the Deathmatch King himself, Matt Cardona. And, of course, this really picked up after GCW Invasion by Nueve, who attacked Matt Cardona and revealed at GCW and got, at GCW an AEW shirt and got booed out the building. As Matt Cardona just stepped up and decided to challenge Chris Jericho, saying that he was a former NWA World Champion. He's right. Former Digital Media Champion. He's done it all. He's reinvented his character. He's become the guy on the independent scene. Now he wants to become the guy on ROH. So, bottom line, this should be the opener. I'm just saying. Matt Cardona is no stranger to Hammerstein Bar. If you remember GCW One Night Stand, and that was a ridiculous night itself with a cosplay of Vince McMahon. Damn. But it's one of those things here where it's mind versus heart. My heart wants Matt Cardona because I think he deserves it, and I think it would be awesome to see what he would do leading ROH. But if you're going to have TV negotiations, and there's a reason why Mark Briscoe is not part of this card, and he is also not the Ring of Honor champion after a freaking ladder war, thanks to the freaking Bad Apple and the Redwood. help Chris Jericho preserve this title. And of course, Jericho did defend his chest and his championship against Tomoshi Ii on Thanksgiving Eve Dynamite. It feels like to me that Chris Jericho is going to retain.
Yes, it is, and I hate to say that it's a double main event. And I'm gonna break this down, like I said, and I know it's not, and I'm gonna break it down like this, the way how I simply put it on Blue Sky a few days ago, to where one person commented saying that's the best way that you could I've seen anybody put it. The reason why I feel like it's a double main event is because business negotiations.
Yep.
One, Jericho holding the title. That's already a first sign, because when Jericho holds a championship in the Tony Khan multiverse of promotions, it's more likely that a new that's more likely a new media rights deal, whatever is going to be. It was going to be starting negotiations, or
he's a recognized name across all forms of entertainment. I get it. Continue.
Exactly. And as unfortunate that is, that's from a business side of things of why this is a main event. Well, double that is. Even though when we get to the next match, I feel like that should have been the true main event and not part of a double main event, because that is the story that is 2+ years that's still going, and that should truly close out the show, because a double main event doesn't truly close out the show.
No.
In my opinion.
I agree. That's the reason why this is the closer of the show, and rightfully so, but please continue.
But yeah, and plus they're still in negotiations too. Yeah, it's going to be a solid match, but I got Jericho retaining, unfortunately.
Well, all I gotta say to that is this.
Agreed.
Well, that being said, Matt Cardona, good luck, and what a poetic Christmas miracle it would be with you and Chelsea Green both as champions this holiday season, and celebrate again at Disneyland with your titles. I hope Matt Cardona comes out with a WWE United States Women's Championship. That would just be freaking hilarious. I'm just saying it. Oh my gosh, a WWE title on ROH under an AEW regime. Whoa. Anyway. I like chaos. I like to stir the pot sometimes. Sometimes the simplest man could be the most devious man. But anyway, we've had enough fun, enough talk, enough chat. We got so much more to come this week. And again, we talked about the agenda ahead of the Christmas season. And let me say in advance, we'll be back next week, Thursday, for our World's End preview and year-end ado. Looking back at Rampage Best Moments, ATW's favorite moments this year in wrestling, our hype ahead of the first 7 days of the new year, including what we discussed earlier. But let's go ahead and get into what tomorrow is truly all about. Let's go ahead and break it down. Let's talk about the most prestigious title in ROH history, this era, and literally the longest reigning champion in this company's history. Let's go ahead and talk about the main event, and rightfully so, damn it. The Fallen Goddess, the Forever Champion, 741 days, 24 defenses, 29 Proving Ground matches, 53 total times that the ROH Women's Championship was the talk of the time. Athena, who won this at Final Battle in 2022 against Mercedes Martinez, defends the gold 1 year later and some change against her greatest rival, her greatest opponent, her greatest minion, formerly, now ultimately, her latest foe, Billy Starks. I'm not going to say another word, as I always do the backdrop, but King, you already talked about how important this match is. The floor is yours. This is Final Battle. This has to be their final battle. Do we finally stop forever?
Legs are crossed, which means it's story time with Anthony, and I haven't done this since when Punk came back for All Out. This story has been the most intriguing, the most roller coaster, the most invested, the most talked about story in Ring of Honor's history since Tony Khan bought it in 2022. From last year's final, from the way how we got there last year, was all about Billie earning Athena's respect, but also wanted to dethrone Athena to become the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion at that time in Garland, which they showed it on Honor Club for the ones that watched Ring of Honor like the both of us did, which I'm glad they brought it. I'm glad they revisited, but you can also watch on Honor Club on your own time. When that match got revisited on Honor Club tonight, the goosebumps, the everything replayed in my head on how I was watching it, when I was watching it live that night, it all came flooded back to me of how Billie came so freaking close to dethrone Athena by basically everything she had in the book. But it wasn't enough to dethrone the fallen goddess. But what it did for Billie was earn Athena's respect, became officially the minion that Athena wanted. That got Billie to a Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship, the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, but lost it to Red Velvet. That got Athena mad. That got Athena to disconnect from Billie once more and got Lexi to where she's at right now in MIT and graduated MIT. That got Billie affected in some way. Billie became an unknown to Athena once more. And then Billie finally, once more, had the guts and the audacity to stand up to her minion overlord and was like, enough is enough. I want that title that you got once more. I want to dethrone you. Look, here we are 1 year later. But this time we're not in Garland. We're in the spiritual home where we've seen ladder wars. We've seen the best tag team rivalries in Ring of Honor. We've seen some of the best matches in Ring of Honor, like Steen and El Generico. Side note, whatever happened to Generico, by the way? I hope he's doing really good.
I've always wondered that question. I still don't know the answer.
Exactly. Now, and then we see Nigel and Bryan, their last match before what we saw at Grand Slam earlier this year. Now, the question is it Billie's time or is it still, or are we still on Minion time? Well, this is the way how I will put it. When Athena gave that little tease in her interview last week, saying that she's on her world tour. She's already qualified to be at the Tokyo Dome in that International Women's Cup, representing Ring of Honor. She's already teasing that she's on her way, finally on her way to AEW. What better way to basically pass the torch in MIT and carry that belt and carry that ball and run with it? We've seen the story evolve. We've seen Athena, how dominant she can be as champion. We've seen the evolution of Billie Starkz in her character, from a very sweet little girl to the aggression, the evilness that she can possess within her from Athena's influence. It's Billie's time. And what better way to do it than in the Hammerstein Ballroom, the spiritual home of Ring of Honor, at Final Battle, when they return home. Athena, you have done wonders with that championship. Made it the most talked about championship within Ring of Honor's history. Overall, beat Samoa Joe. Overall, for the longest reigning champion in its history. But it is Billie's time. Billie has proved her worth against you. And she knows how to, and she's the only one that can take you to that limit. The first one last year was more of, okay, I'm going to learn from my mistake, go at her again, and basically use the same strategy, but use a more darker influence that I learned from her. The first one they fought was a body blow, as in Athena still retained, but slightly. The second time, Billie's more focused. She know what Athena is going to do. She can calculate what Athena is going to do. Every single hold, every single move, every single like that she can think of. It's Billy's time tomorrow night. We will see a new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion in Billy Starks. Marking it now.
Fair enough. I mean, again, the streamers will fly, the confetti will fall, the entire division might come out literally and celebrate her, and so might her mom, who she once literally disowned under the influence of Athena. And again, talk about eating your own crow. To your point, Red Velvet beat her before dishonor after trying to fall to Athena's dubious means. And to your point, helping Athena retain, but Athena ignored her and gave Lexi all the love. By the way, congrats to Lexi and Big Bill, as they are now married and enjoying their honeymoon. And congratulations to them. And we've seen the subtle nature of Billy Starks ignoring MIT, not giving a fuck, taking days off, leaving Athena to the wolves of her own actions, including against Abaddon. We all saw how that played out with the cake thing. What is it with wrestlers and cake? When do they learn? But it's also one of those things right now where I go back to the former gatekeeper in the previous era of Ring of Honor, Kelly Klein. Kelly Klein won the Ring of Honor Women of Honor Championship against Sumi Sakai, who's now retiring in a triple threat action at Final Battle, and she held that division down for a number of years. Athena did the same thing in 2022. I think Billy Starks, though, she finally causes time to change and makes the fallen goddess fall, and I agree with you. If Billy Starks doesn't win, I riot. I might be done with ROH if Billy Starks doesn't win, because truly it will be the same damn thing. She's been every form of wrestler from everywhere imaginable, including AEW and Canada and freaking Joshi Pros. She beat Miya Yamashita. She beat Sky Blue. Beat Akira Hogan. She beat Hikaru Shida. She beat Michelle Shaw. She beat Nyla Rose. She beat Abaddon. She beat... Shall I continue? No, I'm going to be here all night. Like I said, 53 times she has showcased somehow and preserved this Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. And Billy Starks arguably is her longest match to date, by the way, outside Michelle Shaw, where she just defended that title in Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Great effort by the quintessential diva. Yeah, hate that word, though. But it's got to be here. It's got to be now. There's going to be change in ROH ahead of 2025. Final Battle has to be the final time. Billy Stark said last year for her was her final test. To your point, she became Athena's minion. Here it is, the final. Period. That has to be the story of Athena as ROH Women's World Champion. Game over for the fallen goddess. Billy Starks rises to the occasion. Why she's excelling in higher education, I want to see her excel now in the wrestling business at 21 years of age. Billy Starks leaves that Hammerstein Ballroom, the new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion.
Period.
And I think it would be so poetic after that, that if she tries to slam Athena's face in the title, we actually see Athena not give her the code of honor, but embrace her as a subtle nod that you did it. But also, my time here is done. Athena has done absolutely everything possible for the Ring of Honor Women's Division. It's time for the rest to finally step up. Billy Starks has to be the first. Billy Starks wins. Well, that being said, great little preview again of Final Battle. Again, a lot has to conclude, but if nothing else concludes, this reign of Athena must. She has surpassed everything in Ring of Honor history. She has nothing else left to prove, and honestly, there might truly be no one else to beat that could be more realistically possible to believe in than Billy Starks. Good luck to both. Kill it and own for me not only Final Battle, not only Ring of Honor, but Match of the Year across wrestling, because these two damn well can do it.
Yes, they can, and I expect it nonetheless.
Yeah, and I expect, again, Honor to be real and another tremendous show from Ring of Honor, because no matter what you want to say about Twitter trash, trough ruffles, and social media trolling and dumb, immature activities, when it comes to pay-per-views related to AEW or ROH, they do not miss. Just be along for the ride and hang if you can, because I am crazy and I am a simple man, and I literally can hang across anything in all things wrestling. Period. Well, that being said, King, it was an absolute honor and pleasure calling this show once again with you and again analyzing the business as we bid everybody a fine adieu for the holidays. We hope that you all have the happiest of holidays. Merry Christmas. If you can, enjoy Ring of Honor Final Battle. If you choose not to, enjoy what you choose. Check all this out if you can. Continue following the Continental Classic. May you receive all the gifts you deserve. May you be deemed nice, not naughty, in the eyes of Santa Claus or whoever truly is that figure that's not your elf on the shelf that determines what you receive come Christmas Day or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever you celebrate. We do not judge here. We simply encourage you to show love, show support. It is the season of giving. So whatever you receive, show gratitude. And again, King, I always show gratitude and thank you for doing this with me. And this is always an absolute pleasure doing this with you. And until next week, Thursday, when we, of course, give our year's end adieu and world's end preview, that's all we got for y'all for now. In the words of Catch Rich Boss. So that being said, King, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Any last closing remarks and thoughts and anything you want to plug or promote?
Like the simple man said, y'all, when it comes to AEW and Ring of Honor pay-per-views and the Tony Khan multiverse of promotions, they don't miss. I mean, yeah, the build could have used a little bit more work, but as far as the pay-per-views go, they always I feel like deliver or over-deliver. It depends on how you take it. But follow me on Twitter. I barely even use that nowadays, ever since Blue Sky came and took over. Same old usual, AMT, Roman numeral 23. Follow me on Instagram with the dot afterwards after the 23. Also, follow me on Blue Sky. I'm more interactive on Blue Sky, you guys, nowadays than I am on Twitter.
Yeah, that's fair. I got to get your graphic loaded up in here, too, because, damn it, dude, you're just as much Super Studios as anyone else on the branding, and we appreciate you. Hope to see you maybe for karaoke night where you could probably pay for my dignity or see my suffering. Either way, sure to be a fun night for everybody at my expense because you all suck. Come Saturday night after Christmas Collision. NAF's going to be there. He's naughty. I'm nice. So you take that for what you will. Anyway, that being said, thank you all once again for tuning in. It's always a pleasure doing this on behalf of my ATW fam and, of course, my love and passion across this business, for I am nothing more but truly a simple man and a lifelong fan. 2 hours later. Oh, yeah. Professional wrestling, damn it! As I wish to remind you and encourage you, in and out of the holiday season, too, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans of opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality, too. Treasure your families, especially during the holiday season. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. Follow me if you choose on the Twitter, Blue Sky, and on YouTube. I'm Foster916. Again, I am introverted. I am barely active on social media, but once in a while, I'll give you a hell and a positive fun in wrestling as well. Across all things wrestling. Again, shout out to WFAM and all the social media platforms. Everybody. Casey, Lex, Megan, Sienna, Josh, Matt, Jose. Again, the list goes on and on. Eric, Savage, Mike, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy your day. Love you all. Take care, my friends. Again, for those like me and King, stay tuned for the ROH Forum, folks. That'll come out tomorrow morning, probably some point early. I might even do it tonight if I'm in the mood. It depends. And again, folks, I'll be back. Maybe let's sit a predicting. I don't know, honestly, because I think we kind of covered it pretty well here, King. So thank you. We might do a sit a predicting prior, but if not, stay tuned to Survivor Studios. We will do a watch-along for Ring of Honor Final Battle, and I believe there will be a sub-team doing a watch-along for Holiday Bash Rampage, the alleged second to ever last AEW Rampage in AEW history. So check that out if you want as the Continental Classic continues. If you haven't picked your winners yet, again, here are your brackets. Take screenshots if you choose. Find your top 2 for the Gold League. Of course, find your top 2 for the Blue League, because those 4 men will collide at World's End in semifinals and finals history to become the second ever Continental Classic champion as this card continues to shape out. And again, we'll be back here covering all of that and so much more too. As of course, we'll be back here next week covering maybe Diamond 31st Street, but definitely AEW Rampage New Year's Smash. It'll be a full house. And stay tuned as always for City Predicting for the AEW World's End pay-per-view as we close out the year on all things wrestling. And we set all the prediction links next year with a fun exhibition as we will simply predict me and King one way or another, and maybe others if they choose to, both Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, starting with Wrestle Kingdom first, as there's so much cause and effect. So stay tuned for more on that. And again, me and King will be back here next week, Thursday, bidding you a year-end adieu, talking about so much more, talking about what happens this weekend, maybe even talking about what we get on Christmas, what happens during the Christmas season, and also giving you our World's End preview. But until then, that's all I got to say for now. So thank you all for tuning in. And once again, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell so videos live on demand on this YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. I assure you, my passion, my creativity, my mentality for the love of this business and for kindness shown towards others is not laying up anytime soon. I promise, and I assure you, for we are ATW. And again, stay tuned because you never know when we might do one of these. They're unscripted, they're uncensored, they're a hell of a lot of fun. It's sometimes a 2-person, 3-person, 5, 6. You never know who might invade, like a WWE invasion. You just got to wait and see. But always, it's a talk about so much and all things wrestling and other stuff too, like gaming or chaos. Shout out to Astrobot, by the way. Congrats on winning Game of the Year. And I will be leveling up with game content, like I said, with some of my studios where, Lord help me, I will be working with Walter Cruz on a My GM mode season run. And I have no idea what JJ is going to pick as far as my brand or our budget. Stay tuned for more on that as the Simple Studios levels up, and I guess I might too. I heard y'all's opinion on my poll. I might start doing Q&As. I might start doing like top 7s just based on what I see in the week. It might not even be just wrestling. Who knows? Stay tuned for more on that. But for now, that's all I got to say to you as I finally bid you all a fine adieu. Thank you for tuning in once again to another simple and subtle ATW View Impromptu. And please stay tuned for the coverage of Final Battle come tomorrow. But until then, on behalf of the KNG King, you know how I always like to include things. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and as always, make a positive impact in life. And if you don't do it now, you need to do it some point in your life. Just freaking have a good night. And again, King, I hope you get everything you want this holiday season. And good luck at Final Battle. It truly was an honor discussing this with you. Take care, folks, and we will see you next time here for the Impromptu. Have a good one.
Honor is real, folks.
And so is our love for wrestling. For we are, then, now, and forever, ATW.